Alright, how's it going? So for today's video, I thought I'd kind of discuss some important things when considering to buy a 2004 WRX. Now obviously I've had some really rough problems so far. If you're new to my channel, I actually purchased this 2004 WRX blah by, and within 1 or 2 days the engine basically blew up, and I actually did a full engine swap with the JDM V5, and so that's what I'm rocking right now. And I thought I'd just maybe give you guys some tips on how to avoid this really shitty situation. Now obviously WRXs do come with their problems, but in my opinion, you know, the pros outweigh the cons. So I'll just get into it. Alright, and before I start this video, I want to say something real quick. I really recommend this. I didn't do it myself. I really wish I did, obviously. But I know there's some that don't like to and think they can do it themselves, and that's alright. But I really recommend finding a Subaru specialist. Ask the previous owner if you can get an inspection. If they say yes, then maybe it is good. Go to the Subaru specialist, let them inspect and find the problems for you. That's not what this video is going to be, but it can leave a lot of headaches out and things that sometimes you can't find during your test drive, and you know what I mean. So I really recommend that. Obviously the simplest explanation, you don't need to be told that, but when buying a WRX, you can get a lot of problems there. I don't know if that's better. And going to a specialist, easily the best way, but that's obvious. So I'll show you some other things. Alright, so number one, we're going to do some simple things to basically test for head gasket failure. So the number one thing obviously is to look in the coolant overflow container. Make sure there is coolant at this line. If not, there could be a leak or possible head gasket problems. So make sure there's always coolant there. Another thing you can do is always take off your oil lid and check for a white creamy substance on top of the lid. That also indicates head gasket failure. Another thing you can do, I'm not going to do it right now, but check this lid. If it's bubbling really badly, that could mean head gasket failure. So keep those three things in mind. Especially for the EJ205s, head gasket failure is a really common problem. So check for those things. Alright, so another thing to look for is this valve cover right here. It's hard to get, but it is a really common place for oil leaks. So you can kind of see right there. It's where the spark plug's going, obviously. This car actually had it, and I didn't know it until we already had the engine in, so it was kind of a pain. But this valve cover right here, this gap right there, is a really common place for oil leak. So definitely check around the undercarriage and make sure there's no oil dripping out of there. That's a really common problem, and you might have to replace the seal if it is. Another thing, it's not really in this shot, but my car actually has had some problems with it, is struts. So another main problem with WRXs is they have a really bad problem where the rear struts will go out and you will need to replace them. So to find that, you can either rock your car, and if it has lots of sway in it, which mine doesn't really yet, if it jumps up and down, that could mean struts. Really make sure when you're test driving your car that if you hear a lot of clunks and stuff come from the back, and it's not stuff rolling around, really keep in consideration that it could be the struts, because that is also a really bad problem that WRXs have. Look and hear for any rattles or squeaking within the belts. So this is the serpentine and AC belt in this area right here. So if you guys, it's this belt right here and this belt right there. I don't know, so if you guys can see that or not. And then right in this cover right here, there is the timing belt. So what's wrong with my WRX is the timing belt was actually overdue and the previous owner didn't change it. And what ended up happening is my timing belt snapped while driving. Well, the tension actually ceased, and so that's why I needed to rebuild my engine. But yeah, so definitely, and I guess the best way to check that is make sure the recent owner has given you the receipt or something that proves that he changed it. That is very crucial. Yeah, so really keep that in mind. So the other thing to keep in mind is that the Subaru Boxer engines are extremely smooth because of the way I guess they go. So for Boxer engines, the way they go is it punches, the pistons punch basically into each other. And so that's why it's called a Boxer engine. So they come from each side, pretending my other fist is on the side. And so what that does is it really creates a really balanced engine. So if you see here, there's no type of shake. Okay, sorry, I guess it's hard to tell because I have a better camera. But when sitting in the car, there should be no steering wheel shakes. There should be none of those problems. And when looking at the engine, it should be perfectly still. I know it's gonna be hard to tell because I'm pretty shaky, but it should be perfectly still because these engines are really balanced, basically. So really keep that in mind too. All right, so for the time being, those are the most crucial parts I can really think of when buying a WRX. I will show you the kind of the power band you should see. And keep in mind, I will be coming out with a full in-depth review on this WRX. I just want to have a little bit more time with it to truly understand what the WRX is about. All right. So I'm going to get on straight here. You can really hear like that whine in the turbo. Keep that in mind when buying a WRX. So this street is 60. So I will not be speeding. I don't know why it's 60, but it is. So keep in mind, I'm not speeding in the neighborhood. I'm actually going in the speed limit. All right, and I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little how to buy a WRX segment. Thanks for watching.